Hey everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Steve Hoare. Today's news update is upon us. Yes, Tuesday the 5th of March. Just a little couple of minutes late there, past 12:30. Going to bring you a little bit of news on Mo Salah. We've got some on Joe Gomez as well, some on Xabi Alonso. Thanks to everyone who's joining us live now in the chat. I'll bring your comments and your thoughts up throughout the show. If you're watching this after the fact, like always, please do get in touch by using the comment section below. If you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that good stuff as well, really does help us out. So yeah, thanks very much for getting involved. And as Mike Flanagan says, later than a John Aldridge run to the far post. To be fair, it actually wasn't my time. It wasn't my fault that we were late for once. It kind of was, to be honest with you. It was all my fault. I was trying to avoid the blame. It kind of was. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Up the Reds, says Clivo, and absolutely Clivo, up the Reds indeed. Right then, let's get away and start with the news story. This one comes from friend of the show, Dave OC KLOPP. Hope Dave is doing well. To be fair to Dave, when it comes to news around Mohamed Salah, he's been pretty spot on with it. He had loads in the summer around Mo Salah and obviously the bids from Saudi Arabia. Dave's reporting that Mo Salah is set to return to Liverpool training on Tuesday today with a view to potentially facing Sparta Prague and Manchester City. As it stands, Liverpool haven't trained just yet. Not quite sure when they are due to train. I know on Wednesday there's an open training session at 12:30 that we'll all see the videos from on LFC TV and stuff. So, but in terms of these, I haven't really got an update. But Dave says Salah is expected to be in training today. Liverpool set to be handed a major boost with Mo Salah set to return to full training on Tuesday. The Egyptian has not played since he suffered a reoccurrence of his injury during the 4-1 win over Brentford. And yeah, it'd be great if they could get Salah back. Hopefully this reporting's right and he is back. Now, whether he plays on Thursday, tries to get some minutes into his legs with a view to being fully ready to play City, I don't know. Do they just leave him out on Thursday and leave him out on Thursday and just get him hopefully ready for City? Now, going into City off the back of no football might be something that is a bit of a risk. Maybe Salah might want a little bit of rhythm and stuff. So we'll see how it all pans out. But hopefully if he is training today and he is training on Wednesday, then you'd imagine that he then becomes available for Jurgen on Thursday if he wants to use him. Ideally, I think if it was me and everything was, you could plan it out on exactly how you wanted it, I'd probably get Salah on for 15-20 minutes in Prague, if you can, with a view that then he's ready after a couple of days recovery on Friday and Saturday to start against Manchester City on Sunday. Salah's record, we know, against City is phenomenal. He loves scoring against teams from Manchester. He loves scoring against United. He loves scoring against City. So fingers crossed that he is available, and that would be my idea. I wouldn't start him in Prague regardless. I think it's too big a risk. But if he's on that plane and he gets and then with a view to playing against City, that could be absolutely fantastic. Steven says, yeah, he's needed for City. VC, Salah's brace versus City confirmed. He does like scoring against Manchester City. That is obvious. His record against them is, usually when you get a footballer, they're top the team that they score often against, loads like Aston Villa, just mid-table teams who've been in the Premier League for a long time. You play them twice a season, but they're never really, with all due respect, challenging for the major Premier League trophies and stuff. Salah's is different. Of all the teams he scored against, he scored 12 against Manchester United. He scored 11 against Manchester City. So if they can have him back at the weekend to add to that 11 goals, then yeah, it would be absolutely fantastic. He's obviously scored against them in the league, scored against them in the Champions League, scored against them in the League Cup, scored against them in the Charity Shield or Community Shield, whatever you get it. So yeah, hopefully Salah is back. But Nathan says there's no chance that Salah starts against City. I think in order for him to start, Nathan, I think he'd probably have to get some minutes in his legs on Thursday. If he can have 2 training sessions, if Dave's reporting's right, which I've got no reason to doubt Dave's reporting, if he trains today and then trains Wednesday, gets 15-20 minutes on Thursday, then trains again Friday, Saturday, at that point, I think he probably would start against City. But that's a lot of ifs, buts and maybes. And like someone famously said on this channel, we don't do ifs, buts and maybes, we only do absolutes. So I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out. I think there's a very good chance he actually starts against City. Maybe get an hour out, and maybe you do have to take him off. And Liverpool will have options if that's the case. If Salah's back, and he starts, and maybe Núñez starts, maybe Diaz starts, you do then have Cody Gakpo on the bench to bring on. You can bring Harvey Elliott on if he doesn't start in midfield. So maybe it's that. But I think if he gets through a couple of training sessions and then gets some minutes on Thursday, I think there's actually a very good chance he starts. And Liverpool will need him. Liverpool would absolutely need him. Right then, Adders says, I reckon Salah could be sub against City. Even that could be a huge bonus. Imagine if Liverpool do start with, say, Diaz on the right, Gakpo and Núñez up front, and on the left. Having the 15-20 minutes of Salah off the bench is a game changer, regardless of the match situation. So even that could be worthy. I'm greedy. I'm hoping for more than that. I like Mo Salah against, like I say, he's had success against Manchester City. He has a lot of success against Manchester City. I think he gives Nathan Ake a lot of problems. He often has. He's caused Manchester City a ton of problems regardless of who's played. But I always feel like that's a duel that Salah does well in when he comes up against Nathan Ake. So fingers crossed he is available, and it would be nice if he is. We'll see. Speaking of Salah, and obviously he mustn't be too far away, because the Egyptian national team have called him up for their March internationals, and it's causing a little bit of friction with Liverpool. This is via the guys at This Is Anfield, bringing some quotes up from various members of the Egyptian FA. They've released a statement about Mo Salah. So they called Salah up. Egypt... This is very modern football. Egypt play New Zealand in a friendly in the UAE. There you go. Egypt play New Zealand in a friendly in the UAE in March as part of like a little mini friendly tournament. And the Egyptian FA have called Mo Salah up for that one, even though Liverpool had written to them asking for Salah to be exempt from being called up. Egypt have basically said no. If he plays for you guys before the international break, he's coming along with us. If he doesn't, then we'll talk about it. I kind of understand their point, if I'm honest. I do kind of understand their point. They said, Salah isn't 100% ready. The coaching staff will be cautious about his presence. But we have 2 weeks ahead of us. His recovery may be complete. If Salah is ready, we'll be keen on his presence. Otherwise, we'll have a different talk at a different time. But if Salah plays in any match with Liverpool, he will be ready, and we will call him up to the Egyptian national team. We want things to be calm, especially since new manager Hossam Hassan wants all his players to be present for Egypt's start under his leadership. So Egypt seem convinced that Salah is ready to come back. Liverpool have asked them for a little break so he doesn't have to play in that friendly, and Egypt have basically said no. That's kind of the timeline there. Again, it kind of makes sense. If Salah plays for Liverpool on Thursday, on Sunday, and then maybe features against Man United at the weekend, Liverpool don't really have a leg to stand on in terms of the international call-ups. Now, listen, we never really, as club fans, we never really enjoy seeing players going to play friendlies. You can half square players playing World Cup qualifiers or AFCON qualifiers or whatever, Euros qualifiers for England players. When it's friendlies, and it is a bit grim, isn't it? And like I say, with all due respect, there isn't much riding on a friendly between New Zealand and Egypt in the UAE. I understand they've got a new manager, so obviously they would want Salah involved, of course. They would. It makes a lot of sense, of course. They want Salah, the eyes and attention he brings, and also the quality he's got. But yeah, it looks like Egypt seem like they think Salah could be involved. They have called him up. You would like to think that Salah plays for Liverpool between now and the international break. Of course, if he didn't make it for City, and touch wood he does, if I'm Liverpool, I'm leaving him out for United in the Cup and saying he's not fit, and therefore you can get him out of international duty as well. But hopefully, it's a weird thing to say, but hopefully Salah does play on Sunday, and therefore he is available for Egypt, because that's the most important thing, that he is available for Liverpool on Sunday. Fingers crossed Dave's reporting's right, yeah. King Cosmic, oh no, Mo got COVID on the day of the international break. Yeah, can someone get it? Someone must still have pictures of COVID tests saved on the phone from somewhere. Can we send one of them to Mo Salah, please, and get him off having to go to international duty during the break, having just, of course, come back from a hamstring injury himself. or whatever. I think it was hamstring. And then obviously they called it fatigue. Liverpool did at the time, didn't they? I mean, it's obviously more than that. Salah still hasn't played since he came off the bench and scored against Brentford. He was back, and as soon as he was back, he was gone again. Liverpool need to be careful that doesn't happen again. So I'm sure they are taking all necessary precautions to make sure Salah's sound as and when he is back. Next then, I want to move on to a interesting story. I actually quite like this story. Again, the guys at this Anfield have reported it comes via the Mail. According to a report, and I'm going to get the reporter's name spot on, it was Matt Barlow of the Mail. He said Liverpool received an inquiry from Tottenham Hotspur in January about the possibility of Spurs signing Joe Gomez. So yeah, according to a report from Matt Barlow in the Mail, Spurs wanted Joe Gomez in January and Liverpool quickly slapped them away and was like, no chance. I don't think it was ever likely anyway, if all is being honest. The fact that Liverpool have had injuries as well. Joe Gomez has played left back, he's played right back, he's played centre back, he's also now played centre mid as well. So the timing probably wasn't right. What's interesting, I don't know if Liverpool had... if everyone was fully fit and Gomez wasn't getting some game time, it might have been something they considered, of course, when Liverpool do sell, if Liverpool ever do sell Joe Gomez. That, of course, helps in terms of, profit and sustainability and FFP. Homegrown player who Liverpool spent tiny amount on to get from Charlton, so the profits would be huge, and obviously those profits would help in terms of balancing the books in terms of the FFP and the sustainability stuff as well. But yeah, Liverpool obviously right to not sell Joe Gomez. He's been an integral part of Liverpool's squad this season. Like I say, centre back, right back, left back. We saw him play DM in the last couple of games as well. So absolutely right that they didn't even consider it in January. There was a couple of teams wanted Liverpool players over the last few months. Chelsea wanted Darwin Núñez last summer. Now we hear that Joe Gomez was the subject of an approach from Tottenham in January. We know Nottingham Forest tried to buy Kevin Kelleher in January as well. Liverpool have knocked back all of those, and I'm glad they did it, especially in Gomez's case, because Liverpool would really have been struggling. He's played a lot of games for Liverpool. I think it's only Darwin Núñez who's played more. I'll confirm it now, but there's been very few players who've played more games or made more appearances this season in all comps than Joe Gomez. Yeah, I tell you, it's Núñez and Gakpo, you can see, have played 38 games for Liverpool, and then Joe Gomez is next on 37. The majority of those 37, of course, came as a fullback. He was playing left back quite a bit in the absence of Robertson and Timmercast. He played right back in the absence of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've seen him play centre-back at times. We've seen him, again, play in midfield. So Liverpool made the right decision in January of telling Tottenham to get lost. Because 37, I'm guessing Joe Gomez, there's a very good chance he's involved on Thursday night. He could soon get up that to number 38 as well. And in terms of appearances over his Liverpool career, this season, he's only ever played more games once, and that was in the title-winning side in 1920. I'll scroll up there so you can see the numbers. Yeah, this season, he's already played 37, only 6 games fewer than he played in the entirety of 2019-2020, when Liverpool, of course, became league champions. The year before that, he played 25 as Liverpool won the Champions League. He played 31 games last season. Again, difficult in terms of injuries. So Liverpool had players missing at various times. Gomez played a bit of football. This year he's played 37. He's on course, you would think, to break his appearance record in terms of a single season for Liverpool. Touch wood, he gets there. He's had injury problems in the past, of course, but you reckon that 43 is going to be surpassed this season. So Liverpool needed Gomez. They needed him to step up, and he's more than delivered. I've held my hands up on a few shows in the past, and I've admitted I would have cut ties with Joe Gomez. I'd kind of given up on him, if truth be told. Especially last season, I was like, he's not for me anymore, this guy. He's had an amazing turnaround in this season. He's been one of Liverpool's best players. He's been available as well, where loads of others haven't. So, yeah, fantastic for Gomez. And like I say, Liverpool were absolutely proven right not to take Tottenham's approach seriously, and fingers crossed that they continue to do that, because Gomez has been fantastic. I'm sure I know Gareth Southgate names his England squad soon. I imagine Joe Gomez could and should be involved in that, given his versatility. If you're going to a major tournament, if you've got someone who can play left back, right back, centre back and defensive midfielder, it can then open up other options around your squad. So hopefully Joe can stay fit and fine, and great on Liverpool for keeping him out of the cultures of Tottenham Hotspur as they looked to strengthen in January. Excuse me, I'm going to have a little sip of my drink. Then he choked to death down on my own air. Right then, final news story I wanted to bring you today comes from friend of the show, Florian Plettenberg, aka Pletty Goal. He's been speaking, of course, about Xabi Alonso to Sky in Germany, and according to his reports, and the guys on Anfield Watch have aggregated this one here, it says Bayern Munich have opened talks with Liverpool target Xabi Alonso. I'll scroll down. There's an interesting quote here. It says Bayern Munich are optimistic over Alonso. He says the information, they have the information, according to Plettenberg, they being Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich have the information that if he changes clubs, Alonso will go to Bayern and not to Liverpool. As Alonso says that Liverpool and following Klopp's legacy is difficult. You could lose more than you could win. So according to Florian Plettenberg, if Xabi Alonso loses Leverkusen in the summer, leaves Leverkusen in the summer rather, he says Bayern Munich are the ones favourite to get him, and he's already kind of given a nod and a wink maybe that he would go there. Listen, who knows if that's correct. I question the logic of that, if I'm honest. Now, obviously, Florian will be getting his information from somewhere. He's not just making this up. The chances are that information's probably coming from within inside Bayern Munich, I would guess. By all accounts, Xabi Alonso is batting all questions about his future away, and rightly so. He's got a Bundesliga title to win. They're 10 points clear at the top of the title of the table. Alonso's Leverkusen. He's in Europe this week as Leverkusen face Karabakh. They've also got the German Cup on the horizon. They're having a world-class season, Leverkusen. So I don't think Alonso's engaging too much in talks about his future. Now, in terms of Bayern Munich, they're trying to lighten the mood. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel's been sacked. They're having a difficult run of it, of course, in the league. Barring something dramatic, they're not going to be league champions for the first time in over a decade. I think there's Jurgen Klopp, I think, is the last person who stopped them becoming German champions. So I can see why they're trying to get out some good news. They're trying to leak out a little bit as well. Does it do them any harm to maybe try and disrupt Bayer Leverkusen during this run-in? It doesn't. I think it's fair to say. Now, I think that gap, I think that's too big anyway. I think 10 points at this stage with 10 games to go is probably too big for Bayern to do anything about anyway, because I don't think they're in a good enough form to win every game. I don't think they're going to win every game in the league, and which they have to do, and then hope, like I say, Leverkusen drop points in 4 games. I just don't see that happening. But so I don't think it does Bayern any harm, rather to try and get some good PR out there. So, I know we've sacked Thomas Tuchel, he's leaving, but we're on the case. We're trying to get the next big thing. If I'm Xabi Alonso, I understand the hesitancy maybe of somebody to follow in the footsteps of Jurgen Klopp. Being the guy who follows the guy is never ever easy. David Moyes at Man United, Unai Emery following Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. I think it's a bit different. That Wenger didn't leave a very good Arsenal team. They've been struggling. They want, there's fans who actively wanted a new manager. Ferguson left United, having won a title, fantastic, but he did it with an ageing team and a bit of an ageing squad. Whoever takes over from Jurgen Klopp, yes, there is obviously going to be pressure of following in the footsteps of an absolute iconic manager. But you're going to get a team with a lot of young players, really good young players. So, you could have these lads for the next 5 years at least. Alexander-Arnold, Ibu Konate, Jarell Quansah. You've got McAllister there, who's going to be there for a while. He's only young. Szoboszlai, obviously Nunez. You'll still have Jota, Gakpo, Diaz. We'll see where we're at with the likes of Salah, Van Dijk, etc. Alisson, Becker, Andy Robertson. But whoever takes over is getting a pretty good team and a pretty good squad. So I would disagree that it's a difficult job to take over. Of course, following in Jurgen's footsteps as a personality, that will be difficult. I don't think anyone would be able to do that anyway. But whoever it is getting a good team, a good squad, and also probably a little bit less pressure. You'll get an ownership group who will probably give you a little bit more time. Thomas Tuchel hasn't been at Bayern long. He's made a bit of a pig's ear of it, and he's out. He's gone. At the end of the season, see you later, Tommy. You're out of here. I don't think that would happen at Liverpool. I think if Xabi Alonso came to Liverpool, he'd probably be given a little bit more of an opportunity to succeed, a bit more time, a bit more patience. Jurgen got a little bit of patience. We've seen Brendan Rodgers got a little bit of patience as well. Liverpool weren't just like straight in, you've got to win right now or you're done. I think at Bayern Munich you probably are. Anything less than winning the title at Bayern Munich is almost seen as a huge failure. So I would disagree with the suggestion that it's difficult to follow in the footsteps of Jurgen. I get it from the personality point, but if in terms of a football club, I think it's chalk and cheese. Bayern are struggling, bit of an aging squad, talks of players maybe wanting to leave as well. Liverpool, other than Mo Salah's future, which of course is massive, seem pretty settled. So yeah. I'm guessing this information is coming out of Bayern Munich. I'd wait and see. I don't think Xabi Alonso's doing anything yet. He's too busy. He's got titles and trophies to win, which I completely understand. Maybe Bayern think that, like Bayern obviously, and they're a giant of a football club. Of course they are. They're an institution as a Liverpool, as a Real Madrid, who've been reportedly knocking around and looking at managers as well. It is interesting that there was other reports in Germany that Arne Slot, of course, the manager of Feyenoord, apparently he's been linked with Bayern Munich as well. So, yeah, Liverpool have been linked with the sporting manager, De Zerbi's been linked. So it isn't all eggs in one basket for either team. But I find that logic of it's too difficult to take over from Jurgen Klopp completely wrong. Jurgen's going to leave this person, this manager, whoever he is, with one of, if not the best Liverpool squads there's been in the Premier League era. I think they'll be absolutely fine. And someone like, you've got to be able to back yourself. I think the Premier League is still the place to be. And if the opportunity comes, I think you've got to take it. So we'll see how it is. Like I say, Sky and Florian Plettenberg think differently. They think maybe Bayern Munich are in the driver's seat. For everyone else, I'm guessing we're going to have to wait and see. Right then, guys, thanks so much for joining us on today's news show. It's been an absolute blast. Hopefully, like I say, Liverpool can get Mo Salah back. We'll find out more as and when Liverpool release training videos and pictures. There's definitely an open training session at 12:30 on Wednesday, so we'll know for definite by then. So yeah, keep an eye out on all of our accounts, all our social accounts, the YouTube, the podcast, everything. We'll keep you up to date. As soon as anything happens regarding Liverpool, then yeah, we've got you covered every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Thank you so very, very much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. The season is now well underway. If you need extra Redmen content, be it podcasts, videos, documentaries, interviews, and general shows, fill your boots on redmenplus.com today.